Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Married Lifers.
Welcome to Married Lifers. This OG Greyhound and my co-host OG Pat Boy from East Side to the Villa. What's up?
You're so fucking extra, dude.
Two old guys. We're two old guys.
You're two old guys. So, I don't know how many people have seen it, but from our raffle for hitting 300, Norma G won.
Hopefully she taps in, but she'll probably see that short.
Yeah, I put it on earlier today because I kept forgetting to put it on. My husband's like, did you put it? Did you put it? And I'm like, yeah. But I didn't. I was like, I'll do it later. And I just didn't. So my bad. So Norma, on that short, I left you an email address so you can get at me so you can pick while we'll wait to see if she pops on. So what did you want to talk about today, babe? He's so fucking extra, dude.
You want to talk about the Call of Duty game or what?
The Call of Duty. So I've been talking. Baby, you're sounding muffled again. You're sounding muffled again. Fix your speaker or your mic. I don't know. You're doing something.
I ain't did nothing. What do you do?
Probably has a two claw like this.
No, he does to be a smart ass. So I'll get mad sometimes. I'm like, I can't hear you. So he puts it in his mouth. And he's like, can you hear me now? So I'll put the bottom of the phone in my mouth, and I'll talk to him. I'll be like, how does that feel? Like, you're being a smart ass. I can't understand shit you're saying still.
You doing it on purpose?
Yeah, you know his smart ass, dude. He's always doing shit like that.
I'm trying to make you hear me.
No, you're not. You're trying to be a smart ass, and you know it.
Can you hear this?
Dude, and he'll aggravate me because I'll be talking to him about something serious, and he's all, what? I don't understand. And I'm like, ugh. I guess ain't the time.
I know he can do that shit to me all the time.
I hate that, dude, especially when we're talking about something serious. It's like, get it together, sir. Get it together.
Yeah.
So I reached out to a couple of different prison wives, and I've been getting on the lives on TikTok lately. We're going to start having some of the prison wives come on and tell their story. We had a whole discussion on a live the other night about, some of the wives needing a safe space to talk.
Let me stand up and count.
Okay. Some of the wives needing a safe space to talk about what's going on, you know what I mean? What they're going through with their husbands, what they're going through just in general. So I think I'm going to start doing that again, just to give everybody a heads up.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, because originally that's what this started out as anyway, this channel, you know what I mean? Was to give us a platform to talk and to like kind of smash the stigmatism that's on the relationships in there. And, I talked about that guy starting his not that long ago, and it's like he talks shit about us and puts us down, and then he says he supports us, and you know what I mean? And a lot of wives are getting on there and telling their stories to him, and it's like, to me, it don't make sense. Like, why are you going to do that to somebody that is talking shit about us one day and then supporting us the next day? It doesn't make sense. So I kind of offered that up on the live I was on. So I'm sure a couple of ladies were going to try to get on today here. So we'll see. How's everybody doing?
Hi, everybody.
You sound like a monster, cookie monster and shit.
It drives me crazy.
Did I get it right? Did you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you, smarty party.
All right, just check it.
He's always trying to be a smarty pants. So, JD, are you on yet? I'm looking for JD and I'm looking for Norma.
That's it.
Let me. I send them a voice. I'll send them a message right now.
Duckets. Gotta get them duckets.
You're ridiculous.
He's got a little business out there, boutique and shit. He be grinding.
Does he? He's always posting shoes and shit on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what he said. Cause I keep forgetting to talk to the homie because the homie has a gang of shit, has a storage full of shoes and shit. He was telling me, he's like, man, I got enough shoes to buy me a brand new fucking Charger. And that's what he does. Is like he'll hustle shoes or he'll hustle like just different shit, cards, playing cards and shit, little Pokemon cards.
Oh my god, I hate those fucking cards. My husband's always talking shit to me because I'm crazy with my shoes too, and he's like, I bought these habanero Nikes like 2 years ago, and I wore them one time. He's like, put them, yeah, they're habanero red. You want to see them? Yeah, but he was like, put them on, sell them because you wore them one time and you don't wear them. And I'm like, dude, like, leave me in my fucking shoes alone. He's always trying to sell my shit.
I don't want to mess up my. You gotta wear them. What?
And sell them, Mom.
She just got them to be knickknacks on the shelf.
See, look.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why the lighting in my room is making it look dull, but it's all the same color.
Yeah, I can see it.
That's weird how my light's like that because it makes me different colors too. And I'm like, what the fuck? But those are brand new, dude. I wore them to visit one time. And mind you, that was a 5-hour visit and you're sitting most of the time. You know what I mean? So even if you look at the soles, they're brand new. Like.
Yeah, sell them.
That's what he keeps saying. I'm like, quit trying to sell my stuff. He's like, if I was home, those purses would get sold. All the clothes that's in the closet with new tags would get sold. I'm like, mind your own shit.
Shit, if I could afford it, I'd give me some of them Freddy Cougars. I get the Freddy Cougars.
Jordans and everything that she doesn't even wear. They just sit there and they're like knickknacks on the shelf.
What?
That's a woman for you, huh?
Hey. You talk a lot of shit. I do got a lot of shit though, dude. Like expensive bags.
You said it. I didn't. You said you have a lot of shit.
So he got mad because I was like, can you imagine if you were home? It would be worse. All the stuff I have is me, you know what I mean? And if he was home, I would have way more stuff.
There goes JD right there.
There's Joey, babe. He said, what's good, married lifers and Daniel?
Hey, JD, you get a runner-up prize today. I think he wants a shirt.
Consolation.
It's not a consolation. So we decided, because Norma G won.
You've been a loyalist.
A loyalist? My husband's on one today. But no, JD, you won a prize because you've been with us from the beginning and you're consistently on here with us. So we decided to give you something too. So you're gonna have to get at me the way you get at me normally, and we'll talk about it. So you can pick what you want. And my husband is currently working on the Arizona Hounds stuff that we're going to do. So as soon as I get that done and out, I'll put it out to everybody. Are you okay, babe?
I know. What is he doing?
I don't understand how you have so much energy when you were just dealing with all these little kids.
He's a fool, dude. Why y'all giddy right now, dog?
I just came from class. I had a couple of kids, and then we were just chilling. I teach this workshop, this As-to workshop. So I was over there teaching these youngsters. They got this program, this Smart Comments program for the youngsters that are 18 to 26 years old. They get to be in this part over there. They got couches, PlayStations. They got fish, plants. They get to wear white polo shirts just for being 18 to 26 and taking some classes and stuff every day. So I got approved to teach an Aztec, a Mexican workshop over there, teach them the basic history of the Aztecs. So we have it every Sunday at 2:00. So I was over there today having my little class, and then I came right over here.
Joey said, hell yeah, the first time I ever won anything. Thanks. You're welcome. And Daniel here said you have a little boutique where you sell your shoes. So I'm going to need you to sell my habaneros for me.
She got some shoes.
My husband keeps talking shit to me about selling them.
What else you got? Like them anyway.
Because look, you see I have a red shirt on, right? They kind of look orangish to me. I don't know. They're supposed to be all red. I don't know.
Sell them.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
When the Fierro first came out, it was actually Fierro Habanero.
You're ridiculous.
I'm just saying.
Babe, I know you're not going to like this, but I think when you call back, you're going to have to call from the phones because your tablet is sucking right now. You're so staticky and shit, like muffled. It's ridiculous.
It is.
And I need to go down there and trade out a video game anyway.
You're ridiculous. Norma G's on.
I told you it's gonna be on that game shit.
Hey, what up, Norma?
You're our winner, Norma, of our raffle. I made a short of it.
Yeah, Norma Guadalupe.
So you get a cup of your choice and then a second item of your choice. So I left you an email so you can get at me privately and we'll figure out what you want and then I'll get it to you. She said, heck yeah, I won. Yeah, so if you look at that short, I did the little name spin thing that I have that I do for my training classes. So that wheel, Daniel, that you've seen, I put all my training in that. And then when I have to ask them questions, I spin it. It's like whoever lands on got to either read or answer a question.
We should do that on here. Come up with some questions. Come up with some questions for Greyhound. Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
Yeah.
So I'll have to that little app that I have to move it. I'll send it from my work computer to this computer so that I have it on here. So we can do that.
I'm still trying to learn how to use my damn laptop.
Me too. There's so many things that you can do on there that's like, it's crazy.
That's over my head.
You're ridiculous.
Technology. She got me using technology.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
He's a fool, dude. He had it rolling. And it's just like when he does shit like that, it's flashbacks and we were out here.
Oh my God, you should have seen the message he sent to Bumper. So on Bumper's birthday, I had a video visit with him, right? So I recorded it and he was telling Bumper happy birthday or whatever, and he was acting like his normal goofy self, you know what I mean? Like all laughing and stuff. And Bumper was all happy. He's like, I mean, it was a good thing between them. He was like,
Yeah, yeah.
that takes me back to the way he was. Like, he'll never change. And I love that about him.
He's a big goof troop.
Sometimes, though, it's like during times when it's like, we need to be serious. Like I'll get frustrated with him and get upset. And I'll be like, I'll just stop talking. I'm like, are you done? Like, I'm talking about something serious, dude. Like, get it together.
It could be deadly serious. He's going to laugh.
Yes, I know, and it's frustrating because I was like, I was right here. If you were right here with me, I'd have flicked you in the eyeball or something.
That's the thing. That shit could be deadly serious. He's gonna laugh. He'll make a joke about some shit.
It depends on his mood too, because sometimes when he's not in that kind of a mood, you know what I mean? Like he'll be serious, but like today, and I'm like, I don't know where he gets the energy from because he just was dealing with all these kids. So he was talking about the RP program that's out here. It's for kids between, I think he said 19 and 25.
Yeah.
They're in that, and it's kind of like an incentive pod. So in their pod, like the walls are painted like, you know, bright, and they have couches and big screen TVs and all this stuff because they're kids. You know what I mean? And that's who it's called a workshop, but it's basically a class that he's doing on Aztec history.
That's a good thing. It's to broaden all of their perspectives and horizons. Like various histories that's something good to teach them. Just like for them all to learn various histories and shit like that. You know what I mean? Those are real good things because like it makes a person want to know more. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about kids at that age. Well, they're not even kids, but you know, people that age is that how impressionable they are. You know what I mean? And you'll know the ones that gravitate towards it that are really learning and trying to get somewhere with it because they always give feedback. They'll always have questions and stuff like that. So, you know, that's a good program.
So the workbook, I got him off Amazon. It's for teachers to help him teach it, and it has like multi-answer questions. And he was doing that homework this morning, and he like puts little definitions and like tells them stuff, like gives them good feedback, doesn't just check it and say, oh yeah, you got this right, you got that right, you know what I mean? And then they have a sit down session on Fridays where they get a couple hours where they get to just sit down and talk, and the kids get to ask questions about stuff that they learned or things that they want to know about. So he's all into that, and I love it.
No, see, that's where his personality and everything suits that is teaching, counseling. Like he really could thrive in that. Like that's something like when I bring up like college and shit like that, like that's something in the college where he can go of interest in teaching and counseling and shit like that. You know what I mean? Get a couple years in, you know what I mean, studies and shit, and get certain qualifications. And yeah, I think that's a good place for him. You know what I mean?
So, and it takes one person, because if you listen to the story about my husband, I never got to meet RJ, but I have a lot of respect for him, right? Because he's the one that opened my husband's eyes on learning. Because he talks about the story, and when he first got into prison and they were like giving him books and telling me how to do an essay, and he's like, what the fuck? I came to prison to fuck shit up. You know what I mean? I didn't come over here to learn or to do essays. He's like, and then they were like, you need to know about yourself. And he tells him, do you want to be, I think it's something like, do you want to be a smart warrior or dumb warrior or some shit like that? Don't quote me on that. And he sat him down and started teaching him his history. And my husband started devouring books, you know, learning. And he's the one that, to me, in my, you know, a view of everything, he's the one that opened my husband's eyes to seeing that. And then my husband wanted to teach others. You know what I mean? So like, I have a different respect for him other than, you know, all the other nonsense, like in that.
Yeah, that's it. That was the thing about it. Like, I remember getting to prison, and like when I was 18 in SMU, and how like, and it came from various people. It wasn't just, you know, because like I remember Big Nick Fuke was in the pod with me. He's Aryan Brotherhood. He would give me a lot of their literature. You know what I mean? And then there was a Muslim dude in there, Kawi Abba Allah Mumin. And he's the same way. He would give me a lot of their literature and shit. So I would digest. That's why I say about broadening the perspective on all of this history, because like me at 18, I would, by the time I was 20, I had knew just as much about fucking, you know, these white boys literature and the shit they're passing out, the blacks, all of it. Like I was versed in all of it. And I can have these extensive conversations with a whole lot of them. You know what I mean? And I was always trying to learn as much as I could about all of it. You know what I mean? It's like my first time down, like philosophy was one thing that I studied a lot, and psychology, obviously. But you know, I got heavy off into philosophy, and it was that beginning point of them putting that on me, because like Crow was the first one to introduce me to like the Azteca literature and shit like that. You know what I mean? And that was like a seed that grew into a tree with just, you know, me taking an interest in all this other shit. So that's a good thing. I mean, you want to keep going there.
I think that's a good thing that you were learning other stuff, but I think it's important to first learn about yourself. You know what I mean? A lot of people, even me, like when me and him talked about it, like I didn't know a lot of shit. And he is like, you have to learn this. So he would send me and our daughter, he would send us books. Like he would read a book and send it home.
This is the thing, okay? Know thyself, one, genetically speaking. Right now, this is me at 18 years old, what I'm studying. Like it was never just one particular thing, because for one thing, I'm not that, right? One thing I always knew is that I had Apache blood in me, right? Which can never be neglected. And any of the other bloods that are in me can never be neglected in that regard, because I'm born in 1975, Maricopa County Hospital in Phoenix, Arizona. That doesn't change. The ancestry of my people does not change. And this misconception that this was once Mexico, yeah, for 21 years. But a lot of people don't understand that history of the Mexican Revolution, that it was the U.S. that supplied those revolutionaries, Emiliano Zapata and the whole lot of them, with arms to defeat New Spain, because they wanted this land. And that's 27 years after that fact, they ceded it to the U.S. U.S. didn't take it. It was already part of the deal. So there's a misunderstanding about the history of this place itself. And then with the Aztecs as well, because people have a tendency to view them as being dominant when they never were. They were dominant when they got there in Mexico, but not here. And you neglect every other tribe that's still here. You know what I mean? So
I think it's just the point being is that when people say, you're an illegal alien or you don't belong here, this was originally Mexico.
That's everybody that's here that's not native of this land. It doesn't trace their blood to any one of these native tribes here in this continent. It's the same shit. You know what I mean?
But that's the biggest argument. I don't think it was really well, I'm sure it is. America took it from Mexico, but at the end of the day, that's what it was. It was Mexico, whether you like it or not. However, America
years. Only 27 years. And like I said, the U.S. backed those revolutionaries for this land. A lot of people don't understand that history. It wasn't Mexico forever and all. No, only 27 years. Think about that. 27 years. So, like, people act as if there's a whole history involved. No, it's a 27-year history. And if you study the Mexican Revolution, you know that the United States of America supplied Emiliano Zapata and the whole lot of them with arms. They backed them. They backed them against New Spain for this land. Like that, you know. But people are going to believe what they want. It's neither here nor there, because the reality of it is like I said, I was born in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm project raised. That's my culture. The Mexican food that I eat is not Mexican. It's American. You know what I mean? We eat our own style. And even if you go to Mexico, it don't matter. Like, having been there, you know, you go from state to state or from fucking pueblo to pueblo over there, the food's different. And them motherfuckers over there hate each other more than Americans hate them, for reals. So like there's a lot that's lost in that history. People forget that. But the reality of it is who are we today? What are we today? What do we aspire?
I just like the fact that my husband tries to, like, he
History is important.
Throws himself into all of that, and then he's teaching other people. You know what I mean? He's teaching, especially the young ones that just got to prison. Like at the end of the day, you want them to get out and not go back. You know what I mean?
That's what I say.
He's helping them with that.
That's why I say to broaden their perspectives on history, so they know as much about world history. You know what I mean? Not any particular thing, because that's knowing yourself is knowing how broad a perspective you have. You know what I'm saying? To know thyself is to truly understand you as a human being. You know what I mean? What your potentials are, what you're capable of. You know what I mean? What you add in value to any community, what you contribute in the culture or whatnot. You know what I mean? Because it's a collective, it's a community. You understand what I'm saying? So it's important that way. And we grew up in the projects. That's diverse. It's predominantly brown, black, and native. There's a lot of Native Americans that are there. You know what I mean? A lot of homies that are that. And you know, that's the thing is, but we all share all the same. So like project kids, we eat, all of us, no matter the color of us, we eat Mexican, we eat fucking soul food, we eat all this different shit. This is how we were raised. You know what I mean? So we're, as people knowing ourselves, we can't neglect that. That's our culture. That's our culture. Yeah, we take to everything else, but I grew up breakdancing. I didn't grow up doing mariachi. You understand what I'm saying? I grew up hip hop rap. That's my culture. I can't be taken from that and transplanted into something else. You know what I mean? Like, can't.
Yeah, I get it.
And from my perspective, it's those people there that I need to reach to keep them from going to prison, while Greyhound's there to keep them from coming back to prison. You see what I'm saying? And that's, you know, that's what I do with the whole lot of them is get them to see a broader perspective of life. Because that, you know, if you have a narrow focus and a narrow mind, then you're not really going to see past those things. We bias ourselves in that regard by doing that. You know what I mean? By being narrow-minded to such a point as a racial identity.
What time is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. I just like that. I like that he does that. And I like that he gets involved in that. He wants to teach others stuff.
That's what I say.
I'm proud of him for doing all that.
Yeah, no, shit, me too. Hell yeah. That's why I say I would like for him personally, this is me to him, you know, as a teacher mentor to him, is get a degree, go to school to be a teacher and to be a counselor. You know what I mean? Whatever you guys got to do to fight to get him to get that, that's what he needs to focus for himself. And then this goes with the training because he's already teaching and he's got a knack for it. He's apt for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's very knowledgeable in what he's talking about. Like he can teach that history. It's critical. But like I said, not just for those people, but for everybody to broaden their perspective. Get as many people in the discussion as possible so you understand that. And then, you know, you get more people involved in it in that way. You know what I mean? So, okay, like people of other racial backgrounds or whatever, for them to understand this history is equally important as it is for one another to understand each other's histories so we know where each other are coming from. You know what I mean?
And you see the similarities and shit. Because a lot of people, I think that's a big divide. There is like, oh, we're the ones that are beat up and done this way and that way. But when you learn about other people's, you see that you have similarities. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And see, that's the thing. One thing about the Aztec history is the Spanish conquest and the colonization of this entire land by the Spaniards. You know, people forget Christopher Columbus came from the same place. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and there's so much different. You got not only the Spaniards, you got the French, you got the Europeans. You know what I mean? It just so happened that the crown took control of this shit. You see what I'm saying? But look at how they did all of the natives, all of the people with the slaves that they brought. And it wasn't just all African slaves because some of the first slaves were both black and white. You know what I mean? That's history. It's known. But like you know, how we were all treated and what similarities we share. You know what I mean? Like, how many people know about Wounded Knee? You know what Wounded Knee is? That's when our military went with Gatling guns and massacred, slaughtered tribe. They went and just lit them up. They went and killed everybody. They just went with Gatling's guns, surrounded them, and just opened fire. Babies, everything. You see what I'm saying? And that's not a history to talk about. And the Sioux, they still go through it. They still go through that. Leonard Peltier is still locked up for murders he didn't commit during the what they call Wounded Knee 2. Was that like 69 or whatever it was? And yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, we've come so far on this continent, right? In our evolution from those days of being brutalized in the fashion that we were as people. And it's crazy because that colonization of this land has created those divisions themselves. A lot of people don't understand that those racial identities came from those people, and they were placed upon us for that reason, to divide us so they can keep us colonized. We just live in colonies. This is none but Hunger Games here. Like, this is what I see when I look at the way this world is. It's just nothing but Hunger Games for us down here. You know what I mean? Yeah. And while we need to be fighting for resources for all of us, we fight against each other for resources. So we're like dogs fucking fighting each other underneath masters' tables for the crumbs that fall off the table, when we should be attacking master collectively. You know what I mean? It don't matter the breed of the dog. It matters the fight in the dog, and whether or not them dogs are going to all stand up together against that one motherfucker that's brutalizing us.
Well, when he gets back, hopefully he calls from the actual phone so we could hear him and understand like what he's doing with his class. Because I hate the tablets, man. Like, we're always struggling. I'm like, what? And I had to laugh the other day because one of the wives posted and she's like, these tablets are going to be the end of my marriage. And everybody's like, I feel you, because they're frustrating, dude. Like, I'll be talking to him and then I'll be like, hello? And he gets mad when I say hello because I say it's naughty sometimes. I'm like, hello. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I fucking hate when you do that because you don't listen. Like, you're not paying attention. And he's like, I answered you. And I'm like, I didn't hear nothing, dude. Like, there's no sound, no nothing. And like the other wives are going through the same shit. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. So that's like a constant like little bicker between us every day. Cause I feel like he's playing games. Cause sometimes you could hear you know what I mean? And he's playing games or he's watching a movie. And I'm like, are you paying attention? He's like, what? I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
That's how you know.
Yeah. And then I'll be like, just call me later when you're done because you're going to piss me off. And I don't feel like arguing today.
How often can he call a day?
He can call me all day, all night.
All right.
He does. He does.
What's the latest he could call?
Where he's at in the incentive unit, he said on the weekends it's 12. But my husband does not stay up that late. He's an oldie. His ass goes to bed. Literally, dude, we have date nights, right? Where he will get a DVD or I'll buy him a DVD and send it to him. And we'll turn the TVs on and we'll be on the phone and we'll watch the movie together. I think it was last week I was talking about this. Like, 1 minute he's laughing and I bullshit you not, the next second he's snoring. And I was like, hello? Like, what? You know what I mean? And he'd be like, what? What do you mean? He kept getting mad. And the next day I was like, what the hell is going on, dude? And he started laughing. He goes, I fell asleep. And I was like, that fast? Like, literally, Daniel was like, ha, 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 ha. And I was like, what? Like, what is going on? Like, that man can pass out. He does not give a shit what's going on. It's funny. So he can't. We tried to stay up one night watching, I think it was like Avatar. It's like a 3-hour damn movie. And he kept falling asleep. So we finally called it a night about 11:15. So there's no way he can stay up till midnight. He just can't do it. But his ass wakes up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning all the time. That's why.
That's crazy because, like, I went to sleep at like 3, a little after 3 yesterday or this morning, and 4 o'clock, I was back wake, like just natural. Like I just wake up between 3 and 4 o'clock.
And that's what
Oh.
he says. So I'm like, force yourself to go back to sleep. Because by the time he'll call me at like 6:30, and he's like tired. I'm like, what? Go to sleep, dude. Make yourself go back to sleep.
That's what getting up early does. I never thought I could until I started having to go. I started getting up at 3, going to work and shit. Then I was like, it took me about 2 weeks of adjusting, and all of a sudden, man, I was up at that time. Like, fuck. I'll be dragging ass, but once I hit that shower, I was good. I was awake.
I'll make fun of him. I'm like, you're keeping grandpa hours, dude. Like, you need to get it together.
I know for me, I'm gonna be 50 in about 6 months, so. I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? I'm super excited about seeing 50. I'm ready for it.
I'm a little ways away from that, but my mom was like, because my birthday was last Monday, and she was all, when you hit 50, we're gonna do something big. And I'm like, be quiet. Like, why would you ever even say that to me? Like, what are you talking about, lady?
I think I might treat myself for my 50th birthday. You know what I mean? That's a hell of a milestone for somebody who nobody thought would be alive at 18.
That's true.
You know, so
I mean, you got to look at it positively. I don't want to look at it at all. When I get there, we'll figure it out. But right now, I don't even want to. Nah, I'm good.
I never imagined it, man. And then, like, you know, all of a sudden, something inside decided to live. You know what I mean? Like, where my whole life I just saw death. I saw it, that's what it was. And then, you know, just like that, I believed that I could live long. You know what I mean? And that's when I made the decision to start taking care of my health and everything else. And now, I got nothing but good news from the doctor. You know what I mean? The treatment's a success, and I'm not even done with it yet.
That's good. Oh,
so you know those are goals I set for myself, man. Because you know that's how we get somewhere in life. You know what I mean? That's how we get somewhere in life.
My husband makes fun of me because I'll be making these. You know, I'm on my protein kick. Where like all my stuff's low carbs and high protein and stuff. And I was making a bark thing yesterday, and he was like making fun of me. And I was like, if you were home, this is the shit you would be eating. I'll let you eat fat boy shit, but we're gonna be doing this kind of stuff too on days. You know what I mean?
Man, that boy,
dude, when he comes home, I could already see us gaining like 50 pounds because I want to take him everywhere and show him all the food and then cook for him. I cook crazy.
I ripped out when because we were in Cimarron, right? And you know, you got pictures of him where he looks more or less like that. And probably pictures from around that time. And like when I got out, this motherfucker's face looked like this. This motherfucker had some man boobs and shit. He had gained. That's when his son, she was pregnant with his son and shit at that time. And he was this old fat farting ass fool.
He was never really sad. I have pictures of that. I have pictures of him when he had his son before he got locked up this time. But I got pictures of him.
He gained a lot of weight. He gained a lot of weight from when he was locked up.
Yeah. I'll have to send you the picture I have of him because it's him, her, and the baby.
Hey, but and the crazy thing is he got out like 3 months before me or some shit. So he blew up fast. Like,
well, yeah.
He didn't get fat, but he blew up. He was yeah.
And then he went back down because when I was seeing him in Arizona in Iman, he was skinny. Like I got pictures of him, like he's in that orange jumpsuit, and he's like it's huge on him. And then he's bald. So funny shit, dude. You know how I have the background of him in the orange, and I had it on here a few times.
Yeah.
So I just recently sent that to him through JPay, and they stopped it, and they were like, you can't have pictures of another inmate. I'm like, motherfucker, that's him. So the intel officer was like, asked him about it, and he was like, that's that's me, dude. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So she was like, well, let me look at it and then I'll get them to you if it is you. And I'm like, fucking weirdo, dude. Like, I get it. He looks skinny and he's a baby. He was in his early 20s in those pictures. You know what I mean? But it made me laugh so hard. I'm like, so they think it's a whole different person than him. You know what I
How
mean?
old is he now?
I'm not going to tell you. He's older. I'll tell you later. Or you can ask him how old he is.
He's about 47.
He's 51. Watch, ask him. That's what he's going to tell you. He drives me crazy, dude. He's so fucking funny. My husband can never be serious. I'm telling you. He's fucking funny, dude.
You have no idea. I'm telling you. Deadly serious moments. She's got to crack jokes, dude.
Yeah. But it's funny. Me and him talked about it because he recently went bald. Like I had him shave his head because that's how I met him. Like he had no, in Arizona, you couldn't have hair, facial hair, none of that. And I look at those pictures and I'm like, you know, it takes me back to when, you know, we had our daughter at the beginning and he looks different, dude. Like you look at him now, the pictures of him now, and you look at those pictures and he looks way different. I have to look at things like his nose stands out to me. And then the little beauty mark he has on his face, but it's some funny shit. Like it's weird to go back and like reminisce. You know what I mean?
I was seeing that happy birthday short you had. I was seeing that earlier, and I was tripping out on like all the different pictures and how different he looks in all the pictures. Some of them looks the same, but like how different he can look from picture to picture.
He's like a chameleon. Because I tell him that too. Like when he was in the last facility, he just did like the mustache and he shaved everything else. And I was like, you look like a white biker. Like, it's weird, dude. Like, don't do your fucking hair, your facial hair like that. I don't like it. You know what I mean? So he just does the whole thing. And I remember when we were first together, that's all he ever wanted was he was like, I want the big, thick mustache. And he couldn't grow it for shit. And now he has that. So it's funny to think back about, you know, 20 years ago when we first started and the stuff we went through then and then stuff now. Like, it's crazy. It's a long time.
Hell yeah, 20 years? Man, what year was it 20 years ago?
Actually, 21. So 2003.
2013. I mean, yeah, 2003.
2003. And that's why I tell him, like, I look at it and I have pictures that he sent me from back then because he dates everything. I have a book and one of those totes full of fucking letters from back then. 2003, 2004, 2005, and then like all the different states he was in. I got letters from all that shit. He's like, I can't believe you kept all that. And I'm like, yeah, like I have everything.
If it is in love, why do I feel this way? Why?
It's crazy to look back at all that stuff though. Like I got we got a lot of shit. And it's cool because it's written down memories. You know what I mean? It's not just in your head. Like I have stuff that he wrote to me. And our daughter's like that too. She has a bucket of all the letters from over all the years that he's written to her book, like all her shit from him.
He should do a collection of essays, publish it.
So I have a manila envelope, like a fat ass one full of like all his poems over the years. And like you could see the progression in the way he thinks and like how better he's gotten. And even pictures, dude. His cousin sent me pictures that he drew when he was back in, did he say it was Cimarron? I don't remember, but they're like from 95. But it's funny, like the way he drew back then and how he could do it now. And like I tease the shit out of him. Yeah. I'll have to send them to you.
I came home with some drawings because he said he would do drawings. He would give me drawings all the time when we were over there in Cimarron.
No, he did these drawings, and I think it said even his signature. Like my husband, if you know my husband personally, like he writes better than a girl. Like he's super fancy. His writing is just beautiful, right? And then I looked at those writings and I was like, why were you writing like a boy, like a little kid? Like his signature's all floppy and shit. Like it makes me laugh. It's crazy. It's crazy to see all that. You know what I mean?
They might as well did it in some graffiti.
Yeah.
Where is he at, man?
He's on lockdown. He should be calling any minute. I'll have to send it to you. I was looking for it on my phone. Those drawings, because his cousin sent them to me, and my husband was tripping out. He's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he still has that." So he was in Recon. Is that how you say it? In Tucson in 95. That's where this picture's from.
He's in the minors.
Yeah. He said that was right before he turned 18, I want to say, or something like that. Or he got moved to the... And there's one, this drawing that I have is from 93.
So yeah, he's 47.
No, he's not. I'm wrong on that.
I turned 18, left the Rincon Miners Unit in 1993. So I
said I think. I'm not sure because this other picture is different and it says a different date, and that's what he was talking about. So I don't quote me on that.
I know when he was in the Rincon Miners Unit.
Okay, but this one says it too, and this was in 93. This picture says 93.
I left the miners in 93.
It says this picture that I have
I turned 18 February of 1993. But if I left the miners unit, they put me right underneath David Fierro's and Little Ricky. They lived upstairs from me in CDU in Tucson.
So I'll send you these pictures because he drew good back then too, but it's nothing compared to the way he draws now. Like I've never seen these kind of drawings. I always just seen the fancy shit he does. You know what I mean? So it tripped me out on that, seeing this stuff. One's from 93 and the other two are from 95.
Yeah, I think there's progression in everybody that draws, like from the first shit people done to, I don't know, I can think of some of my early shit. I can picture some of my early shit. Mm-hmm. But where's this boy at, man?
I don't know. He needs to hurry up.
Go knock on his window.
I would try to call, but they're probably still off because he'll call right away as soon as he can jump back on. Sometimes they're weird. Like they take their time. Like they'll be off lockdown, but they won't turn their Wi-Fi back on or whatever, however they do it.
Yeah.
So somebody has to tell them something, then they'll do it. And I feel like some of the CEOs do that shit on purpose. You know what I mean? Just to fuck with them. So Wednesday, I'm probably going to put out a video. I will put out a video, or I'll jump on live on Wednesday because just for our state stuff, because I'm going to that meeting. It's called the Citizens Advocate DOC meeting, where we submitted questions and we're fighting for them to get better stuff in there to find out what's going on. So one thing with my husband is he does the sweat lodges every Saturday, and it's weird because they have to fight to get wood for the sweat lodge. You know what I mean? And like, if you're Christian or you're Catholic, everything's given to them. They don't have to go through nothing. They have all this stuff. And for any other religion, like it's a fight. You know what I mean? Like you have to go through all these loops to get shit. And like, I asked him that question. So there's going to be a lot that I address.
Well, where do they get the wood from?
So some facilities, they'll let the COs bring the wood in, or they'll let outside like vendors. But right now for the CDOC, they only have, every facility is ran different. So it's weird, right? So right now they're fighting with being able to have the vendor. I think, don't quote me, but I think the vendor that they do have is super expensive, and that's the only option they have. They let one CO, I believe, bring in his wood from his house, and they use that wood, but they've been fighting for that. So it's a fight just to get wood. It's a fight to have the lighter. It's like, it's so bad. If you're not Christian or Catholic, like you have to fight tooth and nail to get anything.
So they don't allow any of the tribes themselves to donate wood?
No. And that's what I'm asking. That's one of the questions that I asked is like, why, like, where's the equality in it? You know what I mean? This is a religion that it's just like any other religion. Why is it a fight? Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, my husband's like, I have to cut down a tree in front of my house. It's a big ass tree. He was like, ooh, the wood for us. And I'm like, I don't see why I couldn't cut it down and drop it off and let them go through it. Let them go through the wood and then give it to them. You know what I mean? Let them, I can do bundles and then take it to them, but no. Or you could buy wood and send it in. Like, why can't we buy wood from like Amazon, like places that they allow us to buy shit from and send it in?
Yeah, there. I know that last I was in prison, when I was in prison, like that was one of the things with the Native Americans is like always having problems with getting wood and shit, man. Like always on some fuck shit.
And that shouldn't be a problem here. Even where he's at, it's so isolated, like it's so far off in the boonies, but like there's little farmhouses all around with broken down trees and stuff. And he's like, babe, the house that's across the street, they just dropped the tree over there. Like it fell. He was like, you should stop by there and ask him if we can get that wood. And I'm like, I mean, I can stop and ask him, but that doesn't mean that the facility is going to let you guys have it. You know what I mean? We got to figure it out with the facility first. And then, you know what I mean? Then I can figure out how to get you guys wood.
So you talk about some discrimination. People don't understand discrimination.
Yeah.
You know it from a Native American standpoint. Like
even like the Muslims, dude. It's across the board. So if you're not Catholic or Christian, it's a fucking fight. No matter what other religion, if you're not one of those two, it's a fight. And I asked them last time, like, why? And they're like, oh, because there's more resources. That's not fair. And that's not a good answer. You know what I mean? Like, there's things you guys can do on your own. There's COs that are willing to bring in wood from their own houses and you guys aren't allowing it. It's a fucking CO. You know what I mean? And it's like, you're just being petty. Like, it should be fair. If you let all these Christians and Catholic people come in and do their thing, why can't others, you know, like the tribes, why can't tribes do it? Why can't tribes send them in? Like it was a nightmare for me to get him a medicine bag.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be that, you know what I mean, that big of a problem.
Yeah,
he finally got it, but it was a nightmare trying to get that for him. And
I think what it is like part of it is like they see them as receiving the special treatment that others don't because they can't fuck with that sweat lodge. It's sacred land. Mm-hmm. They can't fuck with that place like that. And I know like there's a lot of cops that resent that shit, you know what I mean? Because they receive what others don't. And that's how, you know, but then again, you know, Christians and Catholics are always going to get, that's just everywhere you go. You know,
well, they have all kinds of things. Like they have Christmas parties, they have special events all the fucking time for them. You know what I mean? But for any other religion, any other religion, they don't let them have anything, dude.
The natives don't have powwows over there.
No. I know my husband does. Well, you can ask him when he calls. I know they have the sweat lodge for change of seasons, which is like in the middle of the week sometimes, you know, when the day is for like summer starts or winter starts, they'll be able to have one. And then it's every Saturday that they have the sweat lodge. But outside of that, they don't have nothing else, and they have to fight for that. The last few weeks in a row, they got to do their, you know, the ceremony things all day, but they got to do all of that except for the sweat lodge part, the sweating part. Because one, they didn't have wood for the longest. Then when they finally got wood, the lighter went out. So they had to wait for the lighter, and that took like a month. Like it's beyond ridiculous. Like it's crazy, and it's not fair. So there needs to be some equality in that. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the big questions I asked about. And like I said, I sent them your guys' DOs, I think it's called, for the food visits.
Yeah.
Which is called an AR here. So I sent that to them. There's a bunch of questions I asked because I'm like, this doesn't, like, you guys are weird. You know what I mean? Those meetings are kind of like uncomfortable, dude, because it's like 2 sections and like 10 rows, and all of it was like DOC staff and shit. You know what I mean? And behind us, the 2 front rows on the right-hand side was family, and they weren't even full. So I'm like, I get on the wives and I'm like, you guys want to get on in our groups and bitch and complain, But when these type of things come up, like, where's everybody at? Bitch and complain to people that can actually do something. Don't sit here online and do it in our groups, but don't, like, that don't make any sense to me. Get it together.
Yeah, you got to actively participate. I mean, it sounds good and it looks good to be playing that role on social media because they're playing on social media anyway, and then go turn around and act like they're doing something with their man. Oh yeah, we was in this group and she ain't stomping the grounds.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
I get it. Like, the last meeting we had was in December. Again, it was on a Wednesday in the middle of the day. People work, but they give you enough notice where you can take the day off or figure it out. You know what I mean? So I did that. I used my PTO and I took the day off. So this coming Wednesday, and we'll be at the women's prison here in Colorado, and we're in the visiting room there with everybody and talking to them and asking questions and asking them why. Like, why is all this? And I asked them straight up. I was like, we were told at the last meeting that as of July 1st, we'll get a new vendor. I was like, that was a lie. And I put it in big letters. I was like, we were literally in the middle of visit. And some guy came in like in the middle of the visit and he changed all the prices. Everything went up. And I was like, you guys are already charging us 4 times what this shit is worth in the store. And now it went up again. Why? You guys say that you want family, you want that support system for them and shit. You guys are in the boonies. So one, it takes us, a lot of money to get there and gas and time and shit. Then when we get there, you're fucking gouging us. You know what I mean? For the food items and stuff.
Where in the vending machines or in the commissary?
And the vending machines, all of it, dude. But the vending machines for the visits, like we were literally sitting there, Daniel. I bullshit you not. What was it that I was getting? It was like the little chicken sandwiches, right? They were $3.75 for the little bag of two tiny little chicken sandwiches. And now it's $5.75. You can get a whole box of 10 of those at Walmart for $5.75. Right. Like, what the fuck?
That's what it is. They're paying $5.75 at Walmart, putting them in there for $5.75 a piece.
Yeah. So, but like, that's ridiculous at this point. You know what I mean? And like before you can only, on those vending machines, dude, they let you have a $10 limit, right? Every time you swipe your card. So before we could at least get 2 food items for $10. Now you can only get 1 because now they're $5.75 and up. And then when you go to Walmart, I bullshit you fucking not, dude. Like the burritos, you go to Walmart, those long burritos. I took pictures of them. $1.47 at Walmart. They're charging $6 in those vending machines. Why?
Who operates the vending machines there?
I don't know. So they're saying that it's the prison round. That's why they're not gonna. Because I talked to one of the CEOs about it because she was bitching about it too when that happened that day, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And we were talking about it, and she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "It's unfair to us because we buy our lunches here and shit too." She's like, "We don't even make enough working here to afford to buy us stuff in the vending machines." What? That's a problem for you.
I know here, last I was locked up, Canteen actually stocked vending machines here, yeah. And they were doing a lot of that price gouging shit here too. But yeah, Canteen was running those vending machines here. That's what it all got all fucked up when ABC was when they were going to buying from local vendors and shit, getting everything from everything was cheaper. But once they switched over and Keefe took over the store and then Canteen took over the kitchen and shit, like the prices of everything went up. Like at
so
first,
that's what they said. So one of the girls I was talking to said that it's Canteen. So it's DOC round, right? But they told us in the meeting in December that we were going to get a new vendor. So when I sent that question, I was like, you told us back in December in the meeting that as of July 1st, we were going to get a new vendor. That was a lie. Because I talked to the lady up there and she was like, no, it's Canteen. They ain't going to get a new vendor. The contract hasn't even been put out there for somebody to get it. You know what I mean? So I put in there, that was a lie. Like, I don't understand what you guys are doing. You're already 4 times the price in the store and now it's more? Like, why? Like, get it the fuck together. You know what I mean? Hey, babe.
What's up? I'm on the phone.
I know. I could hear you clear as day, lover.
What?
About time.
So we were talking about the meeting that I'm going to go to on Wednesday, and we were talking about the sweat lodge and the wood and how unfair it is, and then we got into the food for the visits.
Canteen is I believe Canteen's a publicly traded company. Actually, it's not Department of Corrections.
It's like $1 million for everything. So you want to eat a meal? We'll eat a meal every few months so we can save up.
And they still owe me $40, dude. Like, I'm telling you, I kept calling them because now we can use our debit cards, right? But before, we had these white cards that they gave us that you have to pay for. And I put $100 in, it only credited me $80. It did that to me twice. So I kept calling and calling. They did investigations, still never got money back. And in September will be a year. How big? I finally just gave up on it. But I'm like, you guys are robbing us blind every fucking which way. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday, but I am going to make a video and put it out just for my Colorado family that follow our followers that follow on here that can't make it to those meetings, because we have some ladies that have their loved ones that are out here, but they live in different states.
Hey, Ben.
Hey,
Did you see this new change in the law for sentencing with life sentence, natural life sentence, and death penalty? I think it has to do with felony murder type stuff.
I'll send it to you because we're trying to look into that to figure out if we can do anything with it. So I'll send you what Petunia sent me.
I read some
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I read some stuff that I've seen in it. Some of the wording got taken out. So I believe now, initially, her life wasn't eligible to file for commutation. Only life without parole could do it after 25 years. But then that part of the wording got taken out. So I think I can now, with natural life, I can now file for clemency after 25 years, the way life without parole does. But I was looking at it and made me think about both Rocco and Art's case with some of the stuff that was said in there, because it's talking about it's retroactive and people can file a Rule 32 on it. So I was thinking about filing Rule 32 to see where I fall in that category.
Yeah, I did a quick typed in sentencing guidelines on it. It said a natural life sentence does not carry the possibility of any form of early release. The defendant will in fact be in prison for his life. The only possibility of release comes from a pardon by the governor. So
that's what he's saying. Like this new thing that Petunia just sent me that just changed this year. It's taking that wording out. So I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send it to you so you can read it and you can see what we're talking about. But I have to find him.
Yeah, because there's a section in there that talks about if you were sentenced for life, you're not eligible for commutation, furlough, no nothing, right? There was all that was shut down. But in that Senate bill, they now removed that wording right there. So therefore, it's making it non-existent. So that means you can't file for commutation now.
Let me send it to you while we're talking.
Yeah, that way I can look it up. I'm just typing in.
Because Petunia just sent it to me the other day, so I sent it to my husband right away.
And it made me think of Rocco's case too, because it was talking about if he had other cases that precipitated some of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like evading the police and shit like that, then you were eligible for a resentence.
Yeah, if there's a change in the law,
I just sent it to you, so you should have got it.
yeah,
Go on. The non-death penalty stuff, and he starts talking about and he got sentenced to life for these things and like that. Starts breaking down some stuff.
So Ben's on, babe. He said, "What's good, gente? I've been MIA. I know, Ben. We noticed." He said, "What's up, Greyhound, Naomi, Dan the Man, and Jay Duckets?"
What up, Ben? I see you was at that fight the other night, Ben.
I know he's always everywhere. I'm jealous of him. I miss traveling with that little shit. He went. How was that? The Samore concert, Ben?
What concert?
Samore. She's a comedian, babe. She's the one I always tell you the jokes about with the hula hoop, and we'll talk about it later. But she talks dirty. Like her jokes are dirty. They're fucking funny. She's funny. Yeah. Yeah, she's a black girl. I love her though. Like she is so funny. She's on the Queens of Comedy.
Some more?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's funny as hell.
He went to that concert and he's like, "Who wants to go with me?" And I was like, "Oh, I want to go when she comes out here again."
I know he offered me to go to the fight with him, the other fight. I was like, I wasn't prepared. I don't know if I could do a crowd like that.
So we went to the MC Magic concert here last weekend, and I don't really get out all that much, so but I went with my daughters, and that was fun.
Yeah, see, because I'd have to get to it on here, but
you're such a smart ass, dude.
But this SB is retroactive. Because last thing I'm reading, I skipped to the end. It says that retroactive application, Netherlands revised statutes as amended by this act applies retroactively. So it would apply to him. He could follow Rule 32 based on that and ask for clemency.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about it more offline, but
yeah, I have to read all of it. This is small print. I gotta get my glass, gotta blow it up. I gotta
do it. And not only that, like I gotta look up the actual statue that they're talking about so I can send it to them. But we'll talk more about it after.
Yeah, because that's why I'm trying to find out if it was actually passed, but because it's a bill.
Yeah.
Whether or not the bill was actually signed into law by the governor, I don't know. That's what I was actually looking to see what happened because it's a bill.
Yeah, you could end up helping me with that, but we'll talk about it more offline. Alexander said, tapping in. How's it going, Greyhound, Naomi, and Daniel? Hope all is well.
What up, Alexander? What's good? What's cracking?
And Ben said, I ended up not even going because I fell asleep. I was so exhausted from work. Oh, you're ruining my life, dude. You wasted some more tickets.
He was at the fight yesterday.
I can't believe you.
Every time I see Ben, he's in a whole other state. I'm thinking, damn, are you on vacation again, dog? How much fucking PTO do you got?
That's what I said. Well, he's always saying he's at work out there, but I'm like jealous because I used to travel like that a lot and I don't get to now. Like I got too much shit going on. I get to go to Florida next month. My daughter will be 24 on the 24th, so it's her golden birthday. So we're going to be celebrating it in Florida.
Somebody was just talking about Florida the other day and be like, I could visit, but I can't live.
I love it, dude. Siesta Keys, that beach is my favorite. Like I can just lay there for days. Like I go every year because I have a friend that lives out there. Like I'll go out there all day and just lay in that sand. Like I fucking love it out there. But with all the shark attacks and shit that's going on now, I'm like, I'll stay on the sand.
I don't want to live nowhere that got hurricanes, tsunamis, earthquakes, volcanoes, avalanches, blizzards.
So he doesn't want to live anywhere.
Golf ball size hail, tornadoes. What else?
So I don't know where he's gonna live because everywhere has something. He talks shit about it here. He goes, there's avalanches here. I'm like, I've never been involved in an avalanche, dude.
We had tornado. We had tornado warnings last week.
We have them all the time too in the Eastern Plains, though. Not here.
We had tornadoes here in the valley. We had tornadoes here when I was in prison. They fucking tore down all our power lines and shit. Last time I was locked up.
My husband's just dramatic, dude. I was like, where are you gonna live? Everything you named is in some state. No matter where you live.
I'm gonna live off the grid. I'm gonna have a house put out.
No, the fuck we ain't. No, we're not, sir.
And we're gonna use groundwater to take showers.
No, we're not. You're
Very
ridiculous.
economical. We'll have our own chickens. We probably won't have pigs and stuff because I don't want to have to deal with the with the flu or nothing, pig flu or nothing like that and shit. You know what I mean? So we just stay on the chicken diet, eat eggs and chickens and tortillas.
Your friend is losing his mind because that shit ain't happening.
I don't mind a little bit of drought.
He's gonna come home to here, where I'm at, in this house that we own, and call it a day.
There'll not be no blizzards.
There's blizzards here, babe.
Earthquakes.
There's
volcanoes.
There's blizzards here.
Or tornadoes. Or golf ball size hail.
You're ridiculous. Get your life together.
What did Ben say?
So Ben said, question, I just booked Denver for September. I'm going to the Green Chili Fest in Pueblo. I want to go too. So let me know when you get out here. What's a good area to stay in?
Down the street from where
Yeah. So put your application in so you can go visit him,
30 minutes from me.
Ben. But he said, what's a good area to stay that's not real expensive by the airport, or is it too far from the city? So the airport is east of Denver, and you're going south. Pueblo south. And Pueblo, from where I'm at to Pueblo, is like a 2.5 hour drive.
So think of Pueblo being in Florence, and think where I'm at being in San Francisco.
Or isn't it like Phoenix to Tucson?
2.5 hours.
You're going from city to city, yeah.
Because that's what I thought of when we were out there.
I'm just talking about where I'm at.
Well, when we were out there, I drove from Phoenix to Tucson. That's what it reminded me of, the drive from Denver to Pueblo.
A 2-hour drive.
And where my husband is, it's like 2.5 hours.
A 2-hour drive.
He said, I'm trying to book a rental and hotel now. You can answer if you're able to. I don't want to take attention away from the show, though. LOL. Real quick, let me know. So I'll have Daniel give you my business phone number, and then I'll let you know that way, Ben. Is that okay, babe?
Yeah.
Because I want to go, too. I was talking to our daughter about going to that chili. It's chili and beans, green chili and beans. Frijoles festival.
And my boy's wife is out there in
Nuh-uh. Don't even start that shit, because she's my friend.
New people. I know a few people from Pueblo. What are you talking about?
I'll keep it that way. Cause
my nephew lives in Pueblo.
And your nephew is married. Get it together.
He is married with 2 boys. So make it make sense.
You make it make sense.
We know people in different places.
You're ridiculous. Everybody knows somebody in different places.
We know people in different area codes.
Babe, This is what I deal with every day.
You got a song for everything, huh?
I'm telling you, dude. And he grinds my gears when we're serious, and he starts doing shit like that, and I'm like, it ain't the time.
You know your age when you say something like, right?
Do you want me to cut? Like oh my God.
Malarkey.
So he talks shit when I cuss, and then he makes fun of me when I don't cuss. Make up your mind. Which one do you want? Do you want me to cuss, or do you want me not to cuss? Get it together. Yeah, you do. Definitely do. So I was telling everybody too, babe, that I'm going to have a few of the wives on again, like we had China on a while back for those that were on with us to tell their story and talk about stuff. I got one of the wives that's going to come on. She does digital marketing. And like she talks about her side hustle that she has to, make it through.
Get on that hustling.
So we're going to do that here coming shortly. Wednesday, I don't know if I'm going to do live or just do a video about the meeting, just so I can let everybody know what happened and what's going on, or what they answered us.
So, okay, I found what you were looking for in this Senate bill. Post-conviction relief proceedings, resentencing. A person who is serving a sentence in the State Department of Corrections on the effective date this act for a violation of Section 13-1105, subsection A, paragraph 2, which is where he falls under. Arizona revised statutes in effect before the effective date of this act, committed before the effective date of this act, may institute post-conviction relief proceeding pursuant to Section 13-4231, paragraph 7, Arizona revised statutes, and is eligible to be resentenced pursuant to subsection B of this section.
Send that to me, please. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it offline, because I want to get into it with you, but I don't want to get into it on here about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I couldn't stop going over this to find what I was looking for.
That's how I got when Petunia sent that to me. I started getting all like into it, like drowning in it, and I was like, because it's just, we'll talk about it after here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back into my legal studies, man. I'm gonna have to get back into really studying the law, because I wanna petition the courts to get my right to vote back too. So I'll go over it and I'll spend some more time.
I don't like talking about it, dude, because I got my bachelor's degree, and then I started, like, I did my LSATs and got accepted to a few schools, and then stuff happened, right? And I keep thinking, I'm like, I would have already been a lawyer and into it for a few years by now. Like, it pisses me off every time I see Facebook memories, and it's like, I got accepted into Hastings in California. You know what I mean? Like, dude, just life happens. And I mean, I made excuses. My ass should have still did it, but it like, that irritates me. You know what I mean?
I just worked at the law library for a number of years, and fucking, that's all I did was study. And I was filing my own briefs, but I was actually filing briefs for other people too, post-conviction relief, Rule 32s. But it's just been a while. Every now and again, I'll go look something up that's relative in the moment, but I haven't actually studied the law since then. But good refresher for me. Give me something to do.
Thank you for using Securus.
Yeah, we're going to definitely need your help. So we'll talk about it offline. I don't want to get too into it here.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to get into besides Ben and his vacations?
I don't know. Yeah, like what other subjects do you guys want to talk about? Like, I keep saying it. I'm going to bring some of the wives on here. That
the thing is I keep getting asked questions that, that are directed at him that they want to know about, and it's stuff we've already talked about, but I don't know. So
that's my thing. Like, I would just direct them here. Like, if they can't come on here and ask when he's on here to ask him, then I don't feel like addressing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make no sense, because you're asking him questions, but you ain't on here to get the answer. So what's the point?
Right.
So make it make sense, dude. That don't make any damn sense.
I mean, but then again, we haven't been consistent with this, so
that's true too.
Yeah. That's the whole thing, and that's what we got to do is we got to keep doing this every Sunday. For me myself, I'm gonna go back on mine. I might not even go live for a while because like I want to start studying, and I was saying this before on my live is that I want to learn to edit. So like yesterday when I was laid up all day, I was fucking around on iMovie and shit just to see if I can edit from there. You know what I mean? Trying to figure it out. So that's what I want to do is like take some time off to study and do some other shit myself, but do this every Sunday, you know what I mean? As far as
and I want to get into like art, like not just the prison wives and our struggles, but just struggles in general with everybody. You know what I mean? Stuff that everybody wants to talk about, stuff that that we're all going through, shit that's happening in the world right now. Like there's a lot of craziness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but people tap in to hear Greyhound talk about prison, to be honest.
I mean that too. I'm not taking away from that either. And I know a lot of people like
sometimes that gets a little
boring, like tedious.
Yeah, because I'm like I'm here every day. Let's talk about something.
Yeah, I just for me personally, I know you and I know you're worth a lot more than just them fucking stories. You know, what I mean, I know people are intrigued and they want to know and have questions and shit, but you know that's the one thing for me. Like when I see you, I just see your potential as being far greater. You're worth more than just to be sitting there fucking talking about prison. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's a lot you can say about it. You know what I mean? There's a lot you can say about it. You have a perspective.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Unfortunately, I've done a lot of time in prison. I'm still in prison. I've been through the good, the bad, the ugly in prison. I don't know if there's anything that really good in prison, but I've had a couple of positive things come out of being in prison. You know, me and my daughter being the number one thing. But I get it. You know what I mean? And I've been stuff that you know a lot of people don't come out of dealing with this shit. I get those things. It's pretty. You know what I mean? Especially when you're entranced with that life and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The everything for me, you know what I mean? I deal with it every day. I see it every day. So it's nothing new to me. It's just,
And that's like personally, that's what I want people to see is like your growth. You know what I mean? Yeah, you came from that and you can speak on it, but that's, you know what I mean? Like you're a lot older, you're more mature, you know what I mean? There's more value to you as a human being than just that. You know what I mean? I get the comadre shit. Motherfuckers want to know what they don't know, and you know what I mean? And you know, and I get that more often than not, when people want to know something, it's to reflect on what's negative about it. You know what I mean? But like Naomi was talking about your relationship with RJ, and you know what I mean, she was giving RJ his props on how he schooled you and everything. You know what I mean? So like there's those in looking back in that history where you know there's honor in speaking about them or speaking about it because there's good that has been gotten from those.
It's funny you bring him up on that because I just brought him up in this class that I was doing, and because
I brought him up.
So I had some homework from these youngsters, right?
Right.
When I was going over the homework, I noticed that a few of them just didn't do some stuff, right? So it kind of aggravated me because at the end of the classes, when we finished the workshop, we'll hit them with a certificate, right?
Right.
So I was talking with the other facilitators, and I was like, well, you know, I was kind of contemplating on what type of certificate. Do I give them a completion or do I give them a participation? I said, so when they show up, it's participation. But when they're actually doing the work, putting in some effort, they're completing my workshop. You know what I mean? I'm not asking you to be a scholar. I'm not asking you to get straight A's in the class, get every question, but I want some effort that you're doing something. Because I asked this youngster, he answered one question. There was 10 questions. He answered one question, and he didn't even do the rest of the work. He didn't even do, hey, let me put the wrong answers in this shit, right? So I was a little aggravated by it because I was like, when I'm in the class, I'm reading to you the answers. I'm reading to you what's going to be in the questions. And then when we get the questions is just what I had just read to you, whatever the topic was. So, for example, let's say we're talking about Tenochtitlan. We're just talking about the city of Mexico. You know what I mean? Mexico
Right.
City. And it's laying down about the temples and this, and that, right? All the answers are there. And it answers you questions. So when you go answer those questions, you got to go back and reread what we talked about, and the answers are right there. So when the dude don't even answer it, that means either he wasn't paying attention in class, or when he was done at home. Because don't get me wrong, we got a bunch of shit going on in here too. People think because we're in prison that we don't got shit going on, we don't do nothing. You know what I mean? But there's other shit going on, so I get it. But then there comes that time when you got to turn in your homework, right? So then you just go look at what you read, which ain't much. Hey, we're not doing scholar work here. You know what I mean? We're doing the basics. That's it. And so the dudes didn't even read none of that. So I was like, I always remember when we were all kicking back, and I always talk about how once you had this drawing, and it was a charter on there that Flaco Matus had drew, and it said that she signed in a sombrero with it. And I sit there looking, I'm looking at the drawing, and everybody's in the room, and we're just chilling, right? And I said, I'm like, fucked up. They put instead of Mexico, you know what I mean? And then once you laugh, and he said, that's you. And the way I took it was, I thought he was clowning me, and he was trying to call me a girl or something. I said, shit, you're a man, chica. He's like, damn right. And he hit his chest. And Archie's like, and it threw me off when he said it, because I'm like, shit, of course I'm Mexican. You know I'm Mexican. You know my family. You know what I mean? So like it threw me off when he said that. And then he's like, oh, what's a Mexican? I'm like, well, shit, I know. Then this Aztec and Spanish. You know what I mean? Like, where they come from? He's like, where did the Aztecs come from? I was like, huh? And then he started, then I was like, well, and then he's like, hey, you want to learn this stuff? And I was like, not really. Want to learn? I need something to join to learn stuff. I can join to hang out with the homies and shit, kicking and shit. You know what I mean? So then when he gives me some books to read, then he tells me, I want a book report, and I didn't even know how to take that. I felt like, man, these fools are trying to punk me, but these are Fernandez and shit, so I don't even know how to do it. So I went to go talk to Nolan, and I'm like, hey, homie, I don't get it. You know what I mean? This motherfucker's trying to come at me like this. I ain't doing no books and shit like that. And RJ comes and talks to me a little later. He's like, hey, you want to be one of my soldiers or a warrior? And I thought about it, and I was like, I'm not going to say soldier, because that seems like a warrior. So I'm like, I want to be a warrior. And he's like, well, I need smart warriors. He's like, you want to be a dumb warrior, or you want to be a smart warrior? I'm like, shit, I want to be smart. He's like, why you guys work out? And I was like, so we get ready for war. He's like, but what if somebody comes at you mentally? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, what if somebody comes at you mentally? Are you going to be able to hold yourself like that? And I was like, I started thinking about it. I'm just like, damn, like, you kind of got some points here. You know what I mean? Then I started reading this shit, and look, it had nothing to do with doing it for him or nothing like that. Once I read this stuff, then I got hooked, and I was like, I know this. Yeah, I want some more. I ate it up. I gave him his book reports. You know what I mean? But I was telling them that how at first, you know what I mean, my brain wasn't thinking like that. I was wild like everybody else. I just wanted to be running around and doing this and that. And I didn't see the need in that. But you know what I mean? It's good to know who you are. It's good to know your history. It's good to know these things. You know what I mean? I know all these youngsters nowadays, and it's not their fault. There's a lot of youngsters now, they know all about Tupac, but they can't tell you nothing about themselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
And sometimes it's not their fault. Nobody taught them that. But at the same time, when I went to school, they told me Pancho Villa was a motherfucking bandit. He was no good. You know what I mean? The American Army went looking for his ass to fuck him up, and he was doing this and that. And I read up on Pancho Villa and man, it was beast. You know what I mean? But I learned that on my own. But that was some of the stuff we were talking about. And I was telling him how RJ had put me up on that and shit.
You see, Danielle, I said it. I said the story like that, but that's why I said don't quote me because it's something like that. But I brought up RJ, babe. I was the one because I was talking about your class that you're doing right now. And I was like, I have a lot of respect for RJ. I never met him or nothing, but he's the one that put you on to wanting to learn about yourself. And then I told that little story you just told about having to do the essay and stuff. And like you're trying to
that was key on all of them. Like they instilled that in the whole lot of us. Like, you know, it wasn't forced, but we were encouraged to, you know what I mean? And
that's good because if it wasn't encouraged, would you guys be learning that? Like I know my husband, I don't know if he would have ever, you know what I mean? RJ put him on that path of learning and wanting to know about stuff. Like I said, like he just did. He started getting into it and then he started devouring things. You know what I mean? And learning. And it's like that's what he's doing for these young kids. So I'm super proud of him for one, getting this class together and wanting to do it and wanting to teach somebody else. You know what I mean?
Because that's what seems to be lacking. Like, you know, inside and out is it like that generation has been neglected by our generation when the generation before us schooled us, but we didn't do the same with the rest. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like my generation, we came into play, into power and shit, and we just neglected them and took advantage of them. I mean, that's all I see the outcome of how it evolved was, you know what I mean? Just, I don't know, no sense of identity, just a sense of servitude. You know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah, like he was trying to teach you guys some shit and like trying to open your mind to learning about yourself. That's why I said like I have a lot of respect for him for that.
Yes, that's why, like, you know, with Greyhound, like you said, I'm proud of him too for that, man, for, you know, giving himself like that to teach the kids, you know what I mean, and try to see to it that they don't come back, man. You know what I mean? Like that's the most important thing is them not coming back, man. Taking that time and that interest to school them and getting them to learn for themselves, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And you don't know who he's inspiring the way RJ inspired him.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's another thing. It could just be one of those kids out of the 10 that he's teaching. Like,
and that's what I was thinking. It's like, and usually that one that he's speaking of is himself, and that's going to be the most difficult one to teach. And that's where, you know, you have to take a different approach and a different tack to that because, you know, that's possibly the one that will then go on to do that. Where the rest of them, they'll learn something and they'll get somewhere or whatever. But that most stubborn one, if you can reach that most stubborn one and make it click with him, you know what I mean? That's that pay it forward. Because
that's a good way to think of it, babe. Because I didn't think of it like that. When you were saying that story about the stubborn one, I'm like, ooh, smack a kid. Just kidding.
Yeah.
About the one that you talked about saying he only did one question and he didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like he didn't do the rest. Like maybe look at it like he was you know what I mean? When you first were told to do the shit that you were doing and the way you looked at it and then the way you started devouring it.
Because he in my class, he'll participate, he'll have questions and everything. But when it came to the homework, and then I looked at the homework and I'm like, what the fuck? And I mean, he had 3 different chapters of stuff that we've done, and he only had answered one question outside of everything, and that was it. I was like, you know what I mean? So I didn't address him directly. I addressed the whole class, and I just let them know, you know what I mean? You're either here for yourself or not. So I'm not your daddy. I'm not your mentor. I'm not PCOs, nothing. I don't care what you do. You know what I mean? But just don't waste my time and waste another guy's time by taking up the space that could be for somebody else. Because I got guys in the other pods asking how can they take this class, but they want to be a part of this. They're over there talking to the captain and they're talking about they want to come to my class. And so I got dudes that actually want to come and participate in this, not just be here just to get a certificate for
Just
showing
to-
up.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just to
So,
waste space.
don't waste my time with any of that. But if you really want to learn something, you know what I mean, apply yourself. I mean, at least put some effort into it. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you
Do
this.
it for you. You know what I mean? Do it for you because this is something that you get to learn. You get to learn about yourself, but it's new knowledge that you get to know and pass on. And maybe it helps you, or maybe it doesn't. But you know what I mean? But it's something new that you get to learn that you didn't know before.
Let me ask you this. In class, is he reading?
No, so today everybody takes turns reading. Before I was doing the reading, right? But I decided with this going on. So before we started the class, I went over there and my co-facilitator. So they got this program, like I told you, that for these youngsters from 18 to 26 years old. It's called the Restoring Promise Program. It's through the Vera Foundation. So they got a pod where it's all the youngsters that are 18 to 26, and they get like certain privileges and stuff, but they gotta take like self-help classes all day long, right? And better themselves and stuff like that. So all these things are available for them, right? So these guys participate. This is not something that they were made to do or nothing like that. It's something that they signed up to be a part of, right? I got approved this workshop to them. I had threw it at the captain and I'm like, hey man, I want to bring something to the table, but I want to bring this to teach these youngsters about themselves. You know what I mean? So then they allowed them to sign up to be a part of this. So when they come to the class, I started doing the reading because the reason why I had did that because there's a lot of words in Nahuatl that I wanted to be able to pronounce for them and stuff like that. Since they're new to some of that, right? And then give them more explanation than what the workbook gives, right? So that's why I had the reading initially. But after seeing this, then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have them read, and even the words that they don't know that are Nahuatl, it's kind of good. I'm gonna let them read it, say it wrong, repeat it, and teach them how to say it themselves, so that they can start participating and being more interactive. You know what I mean? They were already asking questions and interacting with the things that we were saying, but I wanted to make it more than just what I had been doing. So today was the first day that that everybody took turns reading a couple paragraphs from the lessons that I taught them today. We talked about the ball court today, daily life of the Aztecs, and women in society. That was the three subjects that we touched on today in the class.
So, okay, now here's my question about him personally. How does he read?
He was pretty good. He was a good reader.
So he can read and write.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, because I was wondering if maybe he had some sort of learning disability, and that was something that may have kept him from that. I'm just looking at possibilities of why he can that. Otherwise, it's an attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
it goes to what you're saying.
Too, that, you know what I mean? If there was something that they didn't understand or they needed help with, or whatever, they can talk to me personally, or they can talk to their mentors, or address anything and not feel like there's going to be backlash or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But I didn't address him. I addressed the whole class so that everybody understood that. And then my counterpart was going to hit him up and talk to him one-on-one by himself so that, he understands what's up. We didn't want to put him on blast in front of everybody, but I wanted him to understand what was going on and shit, you know what I mean?
But that's an expectation for
that, so if they ever get into that space.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's an expectation for everybody.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to point him out. Like you're letting it be known to the whole class that this is what's expected from everybody.
Or if I show up, I get a certificate. I don't. If that's the case,
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye. The caller has hung up. Thank you for
No
using
shit.
Securus.
I hate when they,
Goodbye.
I'm like, nah, he hung up, really? Let's see what Joey said. I'm gonna read it and then I'll read it to my husband. It says, I mentioned a while back if you guys heard of a guy named Iron Jacket. Iron Jacket? He tried to infiltrate the Mayans and Aztecs culture. He came out to be a white guy.
Yeah, that's a lot of. That's not. You have many scholars that are like that. That's not uncommon. I mean, there's a lot of Aztec literature that's written by white fucking scholars. Trust. The history didn't come to pass and come out in the fashion because we put it out there.
Do you want to read that to my husband? Joey Duckett's asked the question, babe. Go ahead, Daniel.
Did I mention a while back, if you guys heard of a guy named Iron Jacket, he tried to infiltrate the Mayans and Aztec culture. He came out to be a white guy.
Iron Jacket. He said, he mentioned a while back, have you heard of him? I'm looking his name up now, babe. If I find it, I'll send it to you so you know.
It sounds painful. He's wearing an iron jacket.
It says Iron Jacket was a war chief born in 1770.
Yeah, no, he's.
And he died in Oklahoma in 1858.
Hold on.
It says Iron Jacket was a Native American war chief and chief. I'm not even going to try to say who that is. I'll send this to you, babe. A band of Comanche Indians.
The Comanche.
They believe that he can blow bullets aside with his breath. What? Yeah, I'm going to send you this information. You're ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, I can't even find anything associated. Like I looked his name with it. I don't see nothing in mine.
I'll send you what I got. I'm going to send it from the business phone. You always, I mean, you should have it saved, but whatever.
Blanco Montoos, he was good. He was cold-blooded in the history too, on both Yankee and stuff too. That inspires me to do a lot of writing that I do now. So now I write stuff, and I'll hook up the Mexicans around me that are serious, and I'll school them on some stuff, and then I'll write some shit up and make copies and pass them out and shit.
Joey Duck said it was painful what he was doing to the women. He was making them eat raw meat for days, and they came out sick.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay, we'll have to look at it.
You have to send. Hold on.
Oh, me.
Dude, the wind's pushing hard, babe. It like pushed the front door. I thought somebody was pushing on it.
No blizzards.
It's windy, I said. You're so dramatic.
Okay.
So after this call, I'm going to end this, babe, because I only have an hour to get ready for work. So if you guys want to talk about certain subjects too, leave comments on here. Like I can get the comments afterwards and get them to my husband. Or you can go to my email. It's on the short where it shows normal one, the raffle. My email's there as well. You could email me. Are you still trying to look it up, Daniel?
No, I was looking him on YouTube. But I won't be able to show it with the with that green screen on there.
Work hard for the money. Work hard for the money.
He's stupid.
I had all week off last week from my second job, so I was all loving it. I just didn't love being broke. Now I got to go back tonight. So I'm like,
I know. I got fucking be up early in the morning. I got another. When's the 14th Wednesday?
yeah.
Yeah, I got another doctor's appointment 14 with the neurologist.
Yeah, right there on the left side.
So I have that meeting. So I have PTO that day from my main job.
So we're gonna continue Sundays at 3.
Yeah, this works for me. This works for you, babe. Better than Thursdays.
Not at 3. Not for me.
Well, it's their time at 3. Goofball.
Oh.
It's 4 o'clock our time. The same time that we're doing it now, babe. This works for us. You're so damn extra, dude.
He is. I thought I was bad, dude. Free Greyhound, man. Let's do this shit again, bro.
He's ridiculous. I'm telling you.
See what prison did to me?
Oh no! I tell you what, I appreciate the change, the gray hair.
You can't even say it's prison because I was telling them the message that you had sent Bumper for his birthday, and how he was like, "Oh my God, this guy never changes. I love it. Like he's always funny, and you know what I mean." So that isn't prison that did it to you. That's just who you are.
Hey, you and Bumper were in the minors unit together, Graham?
Huh?
Were you and Bumper in the minors unit together?
No.
He's younger than you, huh?
Yeah, he's younger than me. We're in the mountains together, but not in the minors.
Hey,
after you left, that's when I got there.
Yeah. They were still in. They have moved to 1 and 9 when you got there, huh? So they were in housing unit 1 and 9.
We had 1 and 9. Now they got their own. Now they got their own prison or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, where the Rincon rec field was, they built the Rincon miners unit. They don't have the rec field there no more. Yeah, that's all.
We should crush rocks and everything.
That reminds me of the movie Life, babe.
We had to do that shit when they did the
Boulders that we used to be out there breaking with motherfucking sledgehammers.
You're ridiculous.
Yeah. We had to do that whole patio area out there in the miners unit in housing unit 1 when they did for the Olympic weights and shit, and then basketball court, then the red cages that are at the end of the run. We had to break up all that concrete for them to do that.
Hey, babe, I was telling them how I sent you the pictures of yourself in the orange, and they denied the pictures, saying that you can't have pictures of a different inmate.
I was Greyhound the dog before I became Greyhound the bud.
Whatever. They're just older now. You were a baby back then.
Hey, JD asked, were riots more common back then than they are now? I haven't heard a prison riot here in years. It's been a few years.
Not in.
I can't tell you what's going on at home or nothing. You know what I mean? I've been away for 20 years. I've been out of state, so I can't tell you if they're going on or not. But nothing since I've been out of state. Nothing counts.
So
they're different from where we come from.
They just had a riot in Nevada, dude, and I think it was like something like, don't quote me, but I think it was like 3 inmates were killed, 9 were seriously injured.
If it has to do with them 3 Aryan dudes getting killed, then yeah. There's
I don't know, but there was that, and then I talked about the attack in California on the girl. I think I said that again too. There was another one. Like dude, like there's some crazy shit going on. I'm glad that it's nothing out here or out there like craziness.
See, that's the thing. It's like you got motherfuckers in there that are they're just fucked up. They're gonna always be predators, dude. And you got people that are killers and whatnot, convicted in multiple serial killers, whatever, that change. You know what I mean? That grow and shit. But some motherfuckers just grow worse and worse and worse. Some people change for the better, and with some, it's like, yeah, those hostilities are gonna always be, because there's gonna always be those predators that don't have nothing to live for, and it don't even matter if they're fucking doing life or not. It don't matter. They're just by nature fucked up people.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, and that's the bad thing about it. Is,
like, man, there's some motherfuckers I'm like, man, they're always caught up in some dumbass shit. That's like, no wonder this motherfuckers in prison.
Yeah, for real. It's like you see that all of them same, and it's a particular character. Yeah. It should be stereotypical with these motherfuckers. You can see that person, you already know that motherfucker's headed for a crash. First 5 minutes of watching that motherfucker in the pod, you gonna already know he's headed for a crash. Me and the homie Cheatham used to make bets on motherfuckers, man. How long they would last.
I trip out on that because one of my husband's friend or homeboys, Gats, he was talking about that. Like he had to go back to the county, and his wife was upset. She was like, he keeps complaining like these motherfuckers don't know how to do time. And my husband says that too. And like, we don't understand what that means. You know what I mean? We haven't been there. We don't know, but we're hearing the same thing. Like,
they don't know how to do time. They wear little tight girl pants and little tight girl shirts, and you know what I mean? They're different. They don't read. You know what I mean? Like these motherfuckers, they can't even spell out words. They use all fucking acronyms and shit. It's like FTW, motherfucker.
You're so dumb.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, but that's, you know, for me personally, I look at myself at my age, and I hold myself responsible to a certain degree for it, because it's like, what did I pass on to that next generation except to be all fucked up like I was, to go to prison and want to be a criminal and, you know, take pride in throwing your fucking life away. You know what I mean? So it's just a fucked up situation, man. These kids, they don't want to learn.
Be cool. Go to school. Don't throw your life away.
For reals.
Sure.
For reals, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man. If you're gonna kill for those you love, man. Your family. You know what I mean. Kill for a just cause. If you got to take a life, you know what I mean. Of the same token, be willing to lay down your life for the same. Not for a bunch of lame motherfuckers that are going to tell you they're going to do the same until pressure's applied. You see how these motherfuckers act. They understand on your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, babe, are you ready to end it? Because I'm getting tired.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Same back channel, same back next week. You know what it is.
You're ridiculous. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week, next Sunday, same time. Be safe. Married life. You're so ridiculous, dude.